Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to another SAT Solved Live. This is Saul, and I'll be going over the digital SAT practice test number 10 today on the official SAT Blue Book app. For this series, I normally have never seen any of the questions before. For this particular practice test, it's a bit of an exception. I have probably seen 80% or more of the questions before because practice test 10 is actually a recycle of previous practice tests. So the majority of the questions that I'm going to be solving today will be basically not new to me, which means that this stream is a little different from the rest in the series. It means that I'm going to have to act like it's my first time solving it and kind of demonstrate to you my thought process for how I would solve it on my first time ever, which makes it not perfect, but if you are seriously curious about how I actually solve it and you are not satisfied with seeing a sort of reenactment of it, then I encourage you to watch maybe like the Blue Book practice test 1, 2, and 3 videos where some of these questions come out. Then you can see how I actually solved it when I didn't know the answers. Okay, so with that bit of disclaiming out of the way, let me just address two different groups of people. If you are watching this stream as a live stream, welcome to the stream. Say hi in chat. And just be aware that I will not be able to answer any questions until after I'm done with the module. I might be able to do quick one-off responses, but not proper answers. If you are watching this as a replay, as in not a live stream, but just on YouTube later on, then I encourage you to look at my video description down here for, for keyboard shortcuts on how to speed up or slow down or skip chapters in my video. By the way, I forgot to mention this earlier. I will try and I will definitely call out every question that I did not ever see before. There will be a few, maybe 20%, maybe 10 or 20% of the questions I solved today will be totally new to me. So I will make sure to call them out when I see them. All right, let's get into the app itself and SAT Practice 10, and we're going to get going right away. "32 minutes. The Cherokee scholar Sequoia created a script, accurate, easy to learn, widespread use because many people could read and write it. Okay. Due to their strange and experimental and opaqueness, difficult to understand. And so interpret, so that is C. Okay, number 3. Beginning in the 1950s, Dodge, Wanika, promote public health. This continuous effort, this big effort, this large effort, this persistent... Oh, excuse me, that came out really fast. Has to be persistent because it's the only one that connects to the evidence on the page, which is continuously. Kelp forest, here we go. Underwater, important fish, other marine animals, okay. Ocean currents can be powerful, rough animals. So then the forest, okay, good. The kelp forest slow down the currents. This is more stable. It's the opposite. It's safe and stable, and the opposite of powerful and rough and, difficult to hide. Tranquil, stable. There we go. That has to be the correct answer. I did quickly check the other ones, but that has to be the correct answer. People sometimes dismiss a claim if it comes from a source they regard as self-interested. Okay, yeah. But from a strictly, the source of the claim is doesn't matter, is irrelevant, is immaterial, is irrelevant, immaterial. All right, I predicted that one exactly. If you're watching the stream, just say hi. I'll come back to you after the module. Jazz tap is a dance form that was first developed in African American communities, influenced by jazz music. Tap dancers dancers were influenced, and then music changed and jazz tap evolved too, and it became its own sort of thing. All right, I think it's my first time seeing this. The main purpose of the text is to outline kind of the history of jazz tap and its evolution, like where it got its influence from and how it changed over time. So development is exactly what I was predicting, and I'm just double checking all the other ones, and yes, that's correct. That number 6 was actually totally new for me. I've never seen that question before. Number 7, here we go. Mansfield Park. Tom is considering holding a play or showing a play, staging a play with a group of his friends and family. Here we go. The speaker is Tom. We, as in Tom and my friends and family, we mean nothing but just a little fun. Just change it up to just try being creative. We don't want audiences or publicity. We can be trusted to choose something that is unexceptional, not crazy. I can conceive no greater harm or danger to any of us conversing in the written language than chattering words of our own. Oh, I see. It's like there's no difference between us just chatting versus chatting with our own words or play acting with the words of an author. Okay. Main purpose of the text is basically, at this point, I mean, my prediction is the speaker is trying to de-emphasize how exceptional or harmful or dangerous, right, to use these words here, his aims are. Hey, he's downplaying his aims. To offer his assurance that the play will be inoffensive, okay, that's correct, and involve only a small number of people, which I don't remember seeing that actually. Involve a small number of people is probably we want no audience, probably. So let me just double check B, C, and D. Nope. Intention, there's no separation from intention, so not B, not C for skills, not belief. Okay, yep, has to be A. Number 8, here we go. Sudeep, welcome to the stream. French Impressionist E.D. Degas insisted that his paintings be kept in their original frames. Okay. He used painted frames against the gold frames. Promoted traditional painting styles to distinguish themselves. Okay. Often focus on the interplay of color and light as such. Okay, so it's not just to separate themselves, it's actually for artistic purposes. Aesthetic reasons, exactly what I said, aesthetic reasons. A frame's color was likely chosen because it would harmonize with the content itself, not unlike the gold. So they would agree with which statement? They would both agree that the frames were a bit unusual and distinctive. Okay. Yep, I guess C makes sense because they just attribute different motivations, but that is definitely C. I didn't. By the way, that was my first time ever seeing that question, and I did not really read A, B, or D. C just matched up with exactly what I was thinking. Jeffrey Gibson turns punching bags into art by decorating the punching bags with native decorations, including leather fringe and jingles, metal cones, okay, used in dance. As a result, we get a masculine fusion with feminine practice and reject the division of gender. Okay, gender roles. Which choice best describes his approach to art? His approach to art is by breaking down roles, gender roles, and fusing like visual cues from both sides into one piece of art. Okay, he draws from. That's true. Okay, that was not what I was thinking, but yeah, that's true. So it's probably true. Influence? Nope, not equally because we don't have non-native at all. We don't know about it. He doesn't make dresses, okay, so that's wrong. Expectations about color and pattern. Beadwork is way too specific. Okay. So it has to be A, and he does draw from the traditional art form, which is the native dressmaking from the dances. Okay, so it has to be A. Moving on. That one's a little that one's a little finicky because you have to kind of get into the details of it all, and actually be able to defend every single word in that answer choice. Number 10, here we go. Believing that living in an impractical space can heighten awareness, improve health. Okay, impractical has to be fanciful. Okay, kitchen counter is really high on one side and short on the other side, which is confusing. A ceiling has a door to nowhere. That is extremely confusing. Disorienting but invigorating. Health benefits. Okay, hilarious. The main idea of the text is that these two artists have designed an apartment building that is disorienting but potentially health giving. Okay. The design of the apartment building. Okay, D seems correct. I'm going to double check A and B because D matches up with what I was thinking. No, that's the wrong subject. Bear, designing disorienting spaces. Most effective is a comparison that doesn't exist, so it's D. Okay. 11, here we go. Many insects are iridescent. Shimmer change. Got it. Attract mates, but also predators. So positive and negative. Might actually make it harder for predators to see the iridescent insects. Got it. Has to be predators. So the team put the beetle four wings on leaves along a forest path and then asked human participants to look for them. Some were naturally iridescent, others were non-iridescent color. Okay. Because iridescent means shimmering and changing, so non-iridescent. Okay, cool. So it's going to be a support the idea. The idea is that actually the human participants should not be able to see the iridescent ones. Got it. Participants found they found the purple and blue, but then they didn't find the iridescent. That is my answer. Okay, I kind of just was skimming and I didn't notice that A was exactly my prediction. Okay, the post office is. I feel like I have seen question 11 before. I've seen it before, but it felt like I didn't see it before. It felt kind of new to me. 12. The post office is by RT in Bengali. Amal imagines that the people he sees in the window of his home. So he's inside his home. He's watching people. He imagines that the people are carefree, even when they are working or doing chores. So he is telling the daughter of a flower seller, so, hey, even when you guys are working or doing chores, you guys have nothing to worry about, unlike me. I am emo, I am deep, I know the truth. I have worries, unlike you guys. I see. Oh, flower gathering? That's why your feet seem so glad and your anklets jingle so merrily. You're so happy. I guess that is the opposite of worrying, so that seems correct. I'll pay when I grow up. But that doesn't make sense. Wish I could. No, yeah. Only this one has anything to do with you guys aren't worried. You guys are carefree. Even when you're working, as in flower gathering. Okay, moving on. 13. Spider population count. We have 30 days, and the population, unsurprisingly, if you have lizards, the population drops. Okay, which is kind of like duh. Assuming that lizards eat spiders. So we're investigating the effect of lizard predation. Okay. 30 days. The student concluded that the reduction in the spider count with the lizards was entirely due to the lizards. Which is weird because on day 30, if it was entirely due to the lizards, then you should actually have the gray the gray count should not change. It shouldn't drop, but it also drops. So, okay, so we're trying to weaken the conclusion, and we're going to weaken that conclusion by saying the no lizard cage also dropped. The no lizard cage also declined in the enclosure without lizards. That is correct. That is my prediction. Okay, moving on. 13. 13, we have repellents with components which activate receptors on the mosquitoes. When insects develop resistance, we need new repellents. Okay? Kedong and her team found that EBF can repel mosquitoes by activating just one receptor. So EBF leads to OR31 activated. OR31 is in all mosquito species that have diseases. So if we're trying to develop new repellents, we probably want to avoid diseases. So we want to make sure to activate OR31, which means we want to have EBF. Or we want, okay, so either just say, the dumber prediction, but a still useful prediction is we want to activate OR31. That's the first prediction, but the more sophisticated one is we want to use EBF. Use EBF. I mean, similar to EBF, that's kind of a little awkward because that's not what I was thinking, but I guess that makes sense. Alternative, extracting EBF? Nope. Extracting is off topic. Nope. Location is off. And maximum number, nope. Has to be A, so we're moving on. All right. Euphorbia azula has become invasive in North America. Okay. From Eurasia. It's harmful for vegetation and cattle. Herbicides can kill others. So we're trying to do DNA engineering, focusing only on E. azula, and therefore we would not harm the nearby plants while being able to help our vegetation and cattle. So we're trying to not harm the nearby plants. Yes, that is D. We're going to review. Yes, we're going to attack E. azula without harming the nearby plants. Just double checking ABC, but that is correct. Let's go. We're in the grammar section now, so we're gonna push forward on this. While many video game creators try to make their graphics ever more realistic, lifelike, others look to the past, developing tiles with visuals, 8-bit, Okay. Dependent clause, independent clause. As British scientist PW has observed, okay, means that measurement of time must be adjusted. Okay, an extra leap second is added whenever we add a second whenever time lags a full 9/10 of a second. Okay. We add it whenever that happens. Okay, that is correct. In Death Valley, are 163 rocks are in Death Valley. These move periodically from place to place. Okay. Race-like trails in the Playas sediment. The trails mark the rocks migration. Okay. Plural rocks, single playa. I'm kind of like tired, so I wonder if I'm making mistakes right now, but I think that is correct. Number 19, along with these things, light intensity affects the chemical reaction of photosynthesis. As light increases, so does photosynthesis. Okay, independent clause after the colon. Paintings by the artists Benton and Pollock were featured in Artist Artist. Okay, yep. Cosmic ray physicists noted this. Oh, this is logical analysis. Noted an anomalous spike at this time. There was a lot of radiation at that time. Subsequently, it was dubbed a Miyake event. Like afterwards, or fittingly, maybe. Yeah, fittingly is the only one. Like appropriately, kind of like as a result, kind of. Not exactly the same thing. One poll taken after the 60 debate suggested he lost badly. Only 21% thought he won. The debate was ultimately considered a victory for the young senator who was better than his opponent, Nixon. Okay. However, in contrast, or on the contrary, however, basically. Nevertheless, there we go. The morphology of landscape. He challenges views about natural landscapes influencing cultures. Specifically, he argues that we're not shaped entirely by it. Yeah, specifically is my prediction, and that is what I got. We're trying to get where it was found, and it was found in the Thar Desert. Thar Desert. Oh, yeah, there we go. Why can't I hit next? All right. We're trying to find the reason that the P appearance has changed. Pleiades star cluster, 7 stars, 7 sisters in ancient Greece. So 3 different cultures saw it as 7 things. Today, it seems to only be 6 stars. But the reason it changed is that 2 have moved very close together. They have merged together in our sight lines. So 2 have moved so close together that they now appear as 1. Yep. The reason it changed, that doesn't emphasize the change. This emphasizes the change. So it has to be C. The significance of Ochoa's discovery, discover PNPase, was critical for deciphering the genome, which helps with understanding health. Proved critical to deciphering the human genetic code. That's exactly what I predicted. Let's move on. Emphasize the decline in apple varieties in the U.S. Okay, so it dropped a lot. And why did this decline happen? We had 14,000. We lost thousands of them. Oh, we only have 15 of them now, mostly. Okay. We used to have 14,000. Now 15 dominate the market. That is emphasizing. And where's the why? The why is because of industrial agriculture, which discards certain varieties. Okay, so 14,000 to 15. That's part of it. Okay, this could be it too. Since the rise of agriculture, that's the reason. Grown the same few unique varieties, resulting in loss of thousands of varieties less suitable for that implies that sort of implies the why. So that's probably the best answer so far. I'm looking at the other ones, but yeah, that's the only one that includes the why, so it has to be the correct answer. And that is module 1. Okay, interesting. Same. Oh, whoops. I didn't actually mean to hit the next button, so I'm going to exit real quickly just to do a quick, because I actually need a break right now. So taking a quick break to address the room. Looks like today, even though I'm streaming at the same time as yesterday, we just have a lot fewer viewers. If you are here, just say hi. Let me know you're here. I'm going to just make just a sort of reminder announcement. If you are here, you can ask questions during the stream. I may not be able to really reply in any detail, but I will come back to your question at the end of the module, and I will give you my thoughts. If this video so far has been helpful for you, please hit the like button to let me know, first of all, that you like the video, but also to let YouTube know so that I can show the video to more people in a similar boat as you. All right, guys. I'm noticing that there's no questions in chat right now, and I am a little sleep deprived today. I don't know if you can tell. So I'm gonna take a quick 3-minute break, and then I'll be right back. Just want to walk around, drink some water, and just kind of get my blood flowing so that I can do module 2. All right, so I'm going to be back in 3 minutes. If you have any questions, you can go ahead and type your questions during the break, and then I can answer it after the break. BRB. All right, so I'm back. I'm still feeling pretty sleep deprived, but got the show must go on. So I'm going to go into module 2. I'm not seeing any new questions in that intervening time, so we'll go right into it. Again, you are welcome to ask me any questions during the process of the video, of me solving the questions, and then I can come back to it at the end. All right, let's get into it now. Oh, hang on. There's a bug. Oh, wait. My screen is suddenly working again, so the bug automatically fixed itself. Okay, that was confusing. I'm going to start that over. Here we go. Module 2, 3, 2, 1, let's go. Critics have asserted that fine art and fashion rarely connect, where artists are timeless for exhibition and fashion designers are periodic for purchase. But this one person is challenging the view, so rarely intersect because she intersects, but it's rare for that intersection to happen. So, intersect, that is correct. Okay. Barring, as in assuming that it doesn't happen, barring these discoveries, we're unlikely to ever have definitive account of ancient Egypt under Hatshepsut because the evidence was destroyed. A definitive account is my prediction. Exhaustive account, that is decent. Yes, that works. I think that might be the first time I've seen that question, actually. Here we go. T.C. Cannon's work derives its power from the tension among his influences, his European influences, which are realistic, his American influences, which are vivid, and the flat style influences, which are tribal, which are not, yeah. So his diverse, his eclectic, his many, his disparate. Oh, okay, interesting. Yeah. This is the only one that gets the sense of range because they are very different from each other. All right, number 4, here we go. Number 4, we're trying to raise the age for Social Security, and it's discussed in terms of the effects on them. But actually we can raise the age, and it could actually help with wealth creation, I assume, by lengthening the in which they are providing support to their non-working parents. Oh, harm wealth creation. Wait, hang on, what? Generally discussed in terms of the effects on the recipients, okay. But we should focus on the harm, but we should focus on the actual supporters. Could delay, hurt, stymie, yeah, because now they're supporting the parents. So we have to be focusing on not the recipients, but the helpers of the recipients. Okay. Interesting. That was hard for me to predict for some reason, but stymie, yeah, we're actually harming the worth, we're limiting the wealth creation. Okay, that makes sense. I'm done. Afra Ben's novel, A and R neighbors, and C is the sister of A. So A gives the letter to C, who goes into R, and then R is melancholy, and the letter and gets the letter from her, and then he fetches it, and he held it. Okay, and they're just complicated mechanism. They're just delivering the letter. Okay, so Charlotte is delivering the letter of Alana, and stayed not to hear what he said to it. So she left, but then this R was very happy. It gives him new wounds because wounds of love. He is feeling very loved because these are secret love letters. Okay, so the overall structure of the text is we're first, besides the Atlanta gave the letter, we basically just describe the delivery and then we get his reaction. His reaction is feeling love. Delivery and then, oh, happiness. Yes, that is exactly what I was predicting. I could just move on, honestly. Yep, I'm not going to really read B, C, and D. That was exactly what I predicted. There's going to be other hard questions. Let's move on. House of Mirth, companion are walking through a park. L and a companion are walking through a park. L doesn't know nature, but she's sensitive to a scene if it connects with her feelings or her emotions, her sensations. The landscape of nature spread below her seemed like a enlargement, like a maximized view of her present feelings, her mood. She saw her feelings herself in the nature. Okay. So this is just an elaboration of the previous sentence, I guess. This is an illustrating how this is true. This underlying sentence illustrates how the previous sentence is true, and that is literally what Dog says. No, that doesn't. the following sentence at the very end doesn't it only focuses on the nature, not on this idea. Okay, has to be dog. Correct, because that's what I predicted. I'm going to move on. Number 7. Several studies have found small consequences for governments that impose fiscal austerity measures. Okay. Yet these governments suffered in politics due to their austerity programs, even though there's some studies that say that there is no consequence. So it's just directly contradictory. This contradiction is due to government's tendency to implement austerity programs strategically to avoid electoral costs. Okay, I see. Which obscures. Okay, so this is the intellectual / research problem that gets addressed. Okay, the function is to explain a problem. Real world is off topic. A problem, conflict with reason that goes on to general is a consequence of a complicating factor. The complicating factor is the mechanisms. B seems correct. Long-standing, it feels a little off due to different. Nope. Due to different circumstances is not correct because we're talking about the strategies. So the complicating factor is probably more correct. The data. The complicating factor is that they tend to implement it strategically to avoid the problem. Okay, got it. No, has to be B. Conflict between research findings and recent events. Recently suffered electorally. Okay. Consequence of a complicating factor. Correct. Which changes the data. Okay. Has to be B. All right, moving on. I think it's fair if I were to bookmark that one, but I did double check A and C and D, so I'm going to just move on. Let that be my final answer. Number 8. Invisible hand. Robust model. Benefit by being selfish. Putatively. Like we impute to it, like arguably or supposedly, right? Smith deploys this metaphor only once to make a narrow point about mercantilism, and it was ignored. Okay. So for Adam Smith, this metaphor was not very important. The main idea of the text is that Adam Smith's invisible hand metaphor is actually not that big of a deal for him. It was actually turned out to be a big deal by 20th century economists. Significance. Okay, this is correct, but it's not really. No, that second half. Subtle critique. Subtle critique. Okay, I don't like it, but maybe C is the best so far. Oh yeah, D is definitely the best. Okay, yep. Number 8. That was my first time ever seeing that question. To you, Whitman addresses the reader directly, telling them he deeply understands them, and he says, "I deeply understand you. Your true self appears to me." Yeah, I deeply understand you. Okay, number 10. Number and duration of torpor bouts in arousal episodes. Torpor is sleep and arousal is wake for two species, and they have similar torpor bouts, I guess. Although Arctic ground squirrels has fewer bouts and longer bouts, and squirrels also have fewer wakes and shorter wakes. Okay, sure. I kind of don't get it, but whatever. let's move on. So the marmots and squirrels go into torpor, and then sometimes they come out of torpor, which costs energy. Marmots hibernate in groups and therefore burn less energy during arousal. So if you burn less energy, that means you can last longer. If you can last longer, then you can do 21 hours. That makes sense. Because squirrels are alone, they would have longer torpor and shorter arousal. Longer torpor, which is 16.67 days, 8 days, and shorter arousal, which is exactly the 16.7 and 14.2 is what I'm looking for. The squirrels, where's squirrels? Okay, squirrels arousal. What the hell? They both were less than a day. Wait, none of these focus on squirrels, so now I have to do process elimination. Freaking annoying. Hang on. The squirrels have longer duration, 60.7, and the squirrels have shorter arousal. Both? No. Marmots had shorter sleep. That's correct. And longer arousal, which is correct. This is just the inverse. Oh my god, so annoying. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I had the right prediction, but they just flipped it around and kind of made me waste time. In process elimination, the College Board forced me to do process elimination on that one, even though I didn't really want to. Okay, the mountains of Brazil, two plants, BT and BM, established on soilless, crappy areas of rock, and we determined that the two grow directly into the rock, which is wild. They have these fine hairs in the root. Interesting. And these hairs have acid, M&C acid. And we use these acid to dissolve the rock because it allows them to grow inside the channels, grow inside the holes that they're making, the tunnels that they're making. But also, the acid releases phosphates, which provides a nutrient, like a vitamin for them. Okay, so that's interesting. It's a double reason for why they have acid. And the hypothesis is that they need the acids to do two things: grow and phosphorus. Okay. So we just need to find evidence that the acid creates phosphorus, but also creates tunnels. Carve new entry points even when the cracks are relatively okay. Even when they have tunnels, they still create new entry points, and that's because of phosphorus. That's actually pretty tricky. It's opposite direction, and no different proportions off topic and terrains with more soil. We're talking about, okay, off topic. Okay, so this is the only one that works. 11 is correct. Let's keep going. Dude, what the heck? Okay. Employment by sector in France and the United States. We have France over here, and then the United States over here, and we have agriculture, manufacturing and service, agriculture, manufacturing, service, and then we have 1800 to 12. So agriculture dies in both countries, manufacturing stays around the same in both countries, and services goes up in both countries. So it's very, very similar from 1800 to 2012. Got it. So very, very similar. Over the past 200 years, the percentage of the population employed in the agriculture sector has declined in both, yes, while service sector has risen, yes. However, this transition happened at very different rates. Okay, let's see. Agriculture went from 64-68 to 43-41 to 13-4. So U.S. Dropped agriculture faster, as in from 1900 to 1950, we dropped it very fast. And then service, what happened for service? 14, 13, 28, 31. Okay, and yes, same year from 1900 to 1950, the US went up on service very, very fast compared to France. So between 1900 and 1950, the US shifted from agriculture to service very quickly. So we're trying to compare the employment and sector in both countries in 1950. So in 1950. Yeah, 1900 with 1950, which is the yes. That is my answer. Let's go. Uh, we have three people investigating a mechanism of AT to accelerate flowers when there is high temperature. So high temperature leads to X mechanism leads to flowers. And they replaced the ELF3 in the plants with a similar hang on. They replaced the protein in the plants with a similar protein. Okay, hang on. They replaced the protein ELF3 in the plants. In AT. So AT has ELF3, and they got rid of ELF3. Got it. And they replaced it with a similar protein with from a sort of dud species that doesn't accelerate. Okay. So an unmodified A. thaliana has the ELF, and the altered A. thaliana has the ELF. Doesn't have the ELF. It has like a dud protein. Has like a neutral or control protein. Show no difference in flowering at 22 Celsius, but 27 is hot. So when there's high temperature, the unmodified plants have flowering, while the non-ELF plants don't flower very fast. Okay, so that means the ELF is the important thing, right? When you get rid of the ELF, then they don't flower fast at 27 degrees. So ELF is important. ELF is enabling the A. thaliana to respond to 27 degrees to accelerate the flowering. So that has to be correct. I'm just going to double check A and B and D. Unique. No, that's too extreme. B says production of ELF3. We don't know anything about that. And then D says at least 22. Accelerated flowering and flowering are two different ideas, so we're done. 14, here we go. The domestic sweet potato descends from a South American plant and is also in the Polynesian Islands. So from South America to Polynesia. And they were cultivating it hundreds of years before seafaring first occurred. So how did you get to the Polynesia? Hey, sweet potato, you started in South America, and it's native to South America. But how did you get to Polynesia if you didn't get there by ship? We analyzed the DNA, and we're diverging that 100,000 years ago, which is like way before people, Polynesian varieties and South American varieties already diverged. Like way long time ago, way before boats. Therefore, and we were only around for 3,000 years. Therefore, maybe it was like Pangea, right? And then I honestly, my geology is pretty bad, but like somehow these two came from South. Wait. They're different, and they diverged 100,000 years ago. If they're different and they diverged 100,000 years ago, then the people has no. It's just irrelevant because the people didn't do anything. So what logically completes the text is like the team concluded that seafaring didn't bring it over, something else brought it over. Because hundreds and thousands of years versus hundreds of thousands of years is a totally different time scale. Okay, the cultivation of sweet potato in Polynesia predates the cultivation. Nope, we don't know because that's just more recent stuff. Polynesian likely no, because it was there a long time ago. Human played no role in the introduction of sweet potato in Polynesia. That is correct because it's way before. What? Okay. Domesticated versus wild is off topic, so this is the only correct answer. All right, mind bendy, but basically it's just like they gave us a bunch of irrelevant information and then we just have to say it's irrelevant. Wow, that was annoying. 10 minutes left. Here we go. Grammar. His umpire gestures. His gestures announcing when a player is struck out, and his gestures and his habit land out of bounds. His gestures and his habit helped transform the role. Okay. Stomata, open when guard cells surrounding each pore swell. In a article, plant cell biologist Yuri Lee, title name, showed that blah blahs are responsible for blah blah. Okay. Known as the Brass Era, this period is remembered for its grandeur and artistry, its vehicles highly prized by collectors. This is an absolute phrase. Okay. Not a clause. During the period, many writers imitated. They were not the first to imitate. However, they were not the first to imitate. Some of the most prominent figures were also influenced. Some of the most prominent figures from before them were also influenced by ancient Greek and Romans. So it's just, separated, and semicolon is the only separation. Here we go. With the development of new technologies that use resources, consumption might be expected to decrease, but actually, if we increase the improvement, they actually lower the cost of the use and increases the demand so that we actually so have observed that improvements are often correlated negatively with resource conservation, though. However, they observed that they often correlate with conservation. Yep. The though slash however should be on the left side. Okay, the ghazal has an intricate structure. This is just subject-verb agreement. The American poet Ali explains that each one of a ghazal's couplets, each one is thematically and logically autonomous. Each one is autonomous. Okay, we're at logical transition. Here we go, logical transition. Amrita Shergill was living in what she thought was ideal. However, she wanted to go back to India because only there could she flourish. However, still, she longed to go home. That is correct. Okay. Researchers report that while mathematicians may have traditionally worked alone, evidence points to a shift. That is, nowadays, recently, they're choosing to collaborate. Increasingly, interesting. That's increasingly, yeah. Because we're talking about a shift in a trend. Okay, the prime meridian was originally determined with astronomy. However, as decades passed, nevertheless, yet it remained unchanged. It wasn't until granted, well, is that correct? Granted, I guess D is the only one. Again and again. No, specifically. Nope. Nope. Okay, I had to do process elimination because that sounds a little odd to me, but that works. Okay, 24. I have 6 minutes left. We're in synthesis. Okay, explain how pineapple extract increases the growth rate of PJ. Found that adding increases the feed utilization efficiency and growth rate. Okay, but we're focusing on growth rate, right? Yep. Feed utilization is what creates the growth rate because of hydrolysis of proteins. Hydrolysis to utilization efficiency to growth rate. Did not affect total. Wait, that's off. Absorption of ingested proteins. Okay, that's correct. Growth rate of fish. Okay, because of the bromelain. I guess D is correct. This one's just false. Yeah. Okay. Wow, that's a tough one. It's also my first time seeing this question. Okay, that's a tough one. Good question. It's advantage of microprobes. Large rovers, which are unable to explore, and they are heavy, but microprobes, which are light, can explore anywhere. So they are light and can explore anywhere. Yep, that is B. We're trying to emphasize the methodology. So what's the methodology? Mention the patient's social media. Okay. How many medical student policies that mention social media? So the methodology is reviewing the 132 websites and policies. Okay, they just crawled the websites. Okay, so it has to be one. That has to be B. All the other ones do not focus on the methodology. 27 says generalization about the kind of study by GBNS. So are GBNS the same kind of person? Okay, GBNS are all on the same type. They use statistical methods. Okay, so let's make a quick generalization. Let's go. John, they have co-writing credits. They were written by either, but not by both. Okay, therefore, the exact authorship is disputed. We use statistical methods to analyze the musical content. 18% probability that McCartney wrote "In My Life." Consistent with Lennon, because McCartney is not the one who did it. Okay, generalization. Wait, what? About this kind of study? The generalization we can make about this kind of study, what are the multiple examples you can attach to this? This can help with, okay, I'm going to use process elimination. There's only an 18... Oh, I guess that is it. Researchers have used statistical methods to address questions of authorship within the field of music. I mean, I guess is that supported by this, though? I guess so, because this implies it's only one out of many. Yeah. All right. Nothing else is generalization. I'm moving on, and I am done with the 27 questions. That's an interesting generalization. All right, so with 2 minutes left, I am finished with the 27 questions. I was pretty much acting. I had to act out what it was like to solve the questions for the first time, but it also helped that I basically didn't remember a lot of the questions or the passages. So it was just a good time for me to a good opportunity today for me to just go back, reread these passages with fresh eyes, to not see the answer choices, to be forced to predict the answer again, all that stuff. I'm pretty sure if you go back to if you find some of the original videos of me solving some of these questions for the first time, my thought process is pretty much similar, although probably it is smoother on this one for many of these questions because I have seen many of these questions before. So just, watch this whole video with a grain of salt, but this is just a sort of ideal picture of what it looks like to use my strategy. If you have questions about my strategy, about how it works, then you can ask me questions in the comments and I'll get back to you. For now, let me just quickly make a prediction on my score while I also submit my score so that it loads on the College Board website. So I am predicting let's predict. I'm predicting 800. I mean, I don't feel like I remember any questions that messed me up. I feel like if I don't get an 800 today, it's mainly because of sleepiness, because I do feel a bit of my brain doesn't feel super sharp right now, so it's kind of messing me up. We don't need this stuff here. Yeah, my brain doesn't feel super sharp right now, so I feel like there's like a non-zero chance that I made a mistake, simply just like a silly avoidable mistake. I do have strategies that help prevent that kind of thing from happening, but I'm just not too sure that I implemented all of my strategies 100%. But I'm still gonna bet that I got no errors, that I got a perfect 54 out of 54. So let's actually look at how I did. Oh wait, I have to log in first. So give me a moment and let me log into my College Board account first, and then I'll show you my screen. All right, so score prediction is 800, and here it is. Oh no, wrong one. Here it is. Score prediction is 800, and I got 780. Oh my god, so annoying. Okay. I can't believe it, actually. I was pretty sure I was going to get 800. I cannot believe it. I can't even imagine which question I got wrong. So if that's the case, I probably got some like grammar wrong or something. Dude, I can't even imagine what I got wrong. I got one question wrong. Oh my god. Okay. I'm going to guess it's like a grammar question. Let's go and see some silly mistake. I'm guessing it's a silly mistake because anything that I had to like actually analyze. 23, bro, please. Huh. Wait. I actually thought about this one, but But you know what? I don't know if I remember. I don't know if I mentioned that I never seen this passage before, but I'm just gonna quickly reread this whole thing, okay? The prime meridian was originally determined using astronomically derived coordinates. However, as decades passed, new calculations would reveal increasingly precise coordinates. However, it remained unchanged. Now, I actually didn't say this out loud, even though I was thinking and feeling this. I'm like, wow, that is a shitty sentence. Why would you say, however? And yet, right away, it's a crap sentence to write like that. Now, what if you just got rid of the blank? Which is probably what I would have done. I would have done, as decades passed, new calculations would reveal increasingly precise coordinates, yet the meridian remained unchanged until the 1980s, when the prime meridian was officially moved roughly 100 meters east. Huh. Yeah. You know what? This one's almost more of a grammar question. Granted is a bad sentence, and it's weird that you know why I chose dog? I chose dog because of process elimination. But when I did process elimination, you know what I didn't do? I didn't actually plug. Yeah, I didn't have the same picky standards that I normally have. And I think a lot of that is coming from the fatigue that I am a little bit like low on energy. So I just didn't really want, I didn't have the desire. My desire to actually get a perfect score was kind of low. I wasn't really showing heart. I wasn't really showing the commitment to my strategy. So it kind of made me complacent, and I just sort of chose dog because it's like, yeah, process elimination. And this is the big trap with process elimination. It can make you a little bit lazy. It's like, oh, D has to be right because the other ones are wrong, right? And it can make you lazy with the actual thought process. Because I kind of knew in that moment that it was kind of a shit sentence to say granted or even to say however. Even my prediction wasn't a great prediction. So I should have moved into process elimination mode, and I should have actually checked every single one. Specifically, doesn't make any sense because it doesn't connect. This is not a general for this. To that end, doesn't make sense because this is not a purpose. And so again and again is very unusual because again and again, this is actually talking about we're actually introducing a new problem. It was originally determined with a problem. Again and again, this problem would become more increasingly right? This is the repetitive, like conditional tense, right? It would increasingly reveal precise coordinates over and over again. Yet, the problem remains. So that's such a clever question, and I respect this question. It's a good question, and I should have chosen C. But the first thing I needed to do was to not be confident in D. And what was creating that artificial confidence in D? It was process elimination, a very lazy process elimination where I sort of compromised and said, well, that's good enough, right? Even though it's an awkward sounding sentence. Interesting. I respect the College Board for this question, and I genuinely just made a mistake. So I'm glad that we at least had this mistake to talk about. But wow, kind of embarrassing, but humbling and good for me to learn from. Probably not the best idea for me to be doing these streams when I'm like sleepy and lazy. All right, so looks like there's no questions in chat, even though I finished the 2 modules. I've just explained the one mistake that I made. If you have any questions for me, please type your questions soon into chat because otherwise I'm going to wrap this up. If this video has been helpful for you, please hit that like button to tell the YouTube algorithm that it is a good video, useful video, and make it show the video to other people in the similar situations as you. If you'd like similar videos in the future, please consider subscribing to my channel. For the upcoming March, May, and June SATs, I am planning to write more and more content for YouTube. Not necessarily 100% SAT oriented. I'm still kind of in the middle of processing all that, but within the next week I should have some clear plans that I can share with you in my weekly chat with me office hours stream. So if you're curious what I'm up to, just join me in my casual chat stream and I'll let you know what's up. If you'd like to support my channel and the work that I'm doing, please consider joining my channel membership. I do weekly members only streams where I give tips and answer any questions that you guys have. It could be about SAT or non-SAT. It could be about anything. All right, guys, looks like we have no other questions from chat. So thanks for watching. Glad to have you guys here with me. And see you next time. As always, keep on learning, keep on growing. Peace.